I personally believe everyone has an ounce of shyness in them. I don't totally believe everyone is confident, at every given moment. I feel like it also depends on circumstance. It also depends on certain situations. And it depends on also how vulnerable you are at that time. So for me, for example, a lot of people say I'm confident, but actually I'm shy a lot of the time. Sometimes when I'm meeting people, I'm very shy. When I meet someone for the first time, I'm still shy. When I was first posting on social media, I was very shy. So being shy is not necessarily a bad thing. It's just about not allowing your shyness to stop you from doing certain things, So if you want to talk to someone, don't be shy not to talk to them, Go for it, even if you're shy. Break past that boundary, because sometimes being shy can stop you from progress. And sometimes you might be in a situation where there's someone that could get you to the next stage in your life. Maybe you've met someone that you admire and you want to talk to them because maybe they can help you with something, right, in person. But then you're too shy to approach because you don't want to come across as weird. So I want to be giving you some tips on how you can overcome being shy. Okay, so the first tip is to look within yourself. Look within yourself and identify, okay, what are my weaknesses? Why do I feel insecure about this? Why do I feel insecure about that? This way you get to know yourself better, and also you're able to identify what also your strengths are. So then you can focus on your strengths. Look, we are all insecure about something. We all have insecurities, but it's about working over it. It's about overcoming it by putting in action. Don't let your insecurities stop you from going from A to B, because if you do that, you may stop certain blessings coming your way. Because once you identify your weaknesses, you can either try and change them. If you can't change them, then maybe you might need to embrace the fact that you have that weakness, because like I said, we're not perfect. No one is perfect. We are all here to learn, we are all here to connect, and we're all here to capitalize off of our strengths. So if you're able to identify this and look within yourself, you put yourself in a better position to make more progress and to overcome shyness. Let me give you a perfect example, right? So one of my insecurities back in the day was my hairline, right? So when I was going to Turkey to get my hairline done, I remember feeling very shy because I had to promote it on my social media. And at the time I was like, but I don't want people to know I feel so shy. But then I thought, no, this can be a strength, because you're actually willing to not care what people think, and you're just gonna put yourself out there because there might be other men or women that feel the same way. And funny enough, when I was able to do that, I got a whole ton of messages from a whole ton of men and women telling me they want to do the same thing. They've been wanting to do this, and actually it's been affecting their confidence, and that they feel happy that I was able to step forward and be confident for them. See? So that's how you start, because you never know whose life you're going to impact. Now, I don't care. So this was my insecurity, but obviously your insecurity might be different. Maybe you have yellow teeth, or maybe you have, I don't know, some sort of insecurity in some other department. But if you're willing to identify it and change it, if you can't change it, then embrace it. Either way, at least you're able to work on it, because it's all about progress. Because having these insecurities and not working on them can affect your confidence, and it can affect your everyday interaction. Some people may wonder, why doesn't this person smile? Why doesn't this person do this? But it's because you're holding it within yourself, but you're not willing to work on it. If you're willing to work on it, eventually it's going to become your strength, because you're not willing to let it pull you down. You're willing to walk over it, which is the whole point. Because a lot of the insecurities you're going through in your life, guess what? Someone else is going through the same thing. Someone else is feeling the same way. And how are you able to relate if you're not willing to identify it? Because maybe the things you feel insecure about one day could change someone else's life, because maybe that situation was going to make them feel a certain type of way to make them do certain actions. But you can inspire them to overcome that shyness. The funny thing about being insecure is that the things you're insecure about, most people wouldn't even know that you're insecure about it. Some people are insecure about their height. Some people might be insecure about other things, but it's invisible. Only you know that you're insecure about it. But sometimes we let what is going through our mind block us from actually overcoming shyness. And we also assume that that person that you've met is thinking the same thing about you, when actually they're not even thinking that about you. I've been through that in my life, where I thought people were judging me off of something that I was insecure about, but that person didn't even care about that. Okay guys, another tip I have for you is that when you feel insecure about certain things, for example, I've met a lot of guys, a lot of men who are insecure about talking to the ladies, right? And so when they see someone they like, they never approach them because they're shy, they're scared of rejection. But the only way to overcome that is to put yourself in that situation where you have to go to someone and talk to them and start a conversation. So going up to that person, eventually, yes, you may get rejected, but guess what? You've become more confident in yourself. And the more confident you become in yourself, the more you're gonna attract things. It doesn't necessarily have to be with people you talk to. It could be with interviews. You might go to an interview and you might fail it, and then you give up on actually applying for other jobs, but maybe if you kept going, you was gonna get that dream job you wanted. It's about fighting, it's about keep going, you know, don't give up, don't let a negative situation dictate your whole life, because it's only a negative situation. Remember, this too shall pass. Because guys, I say this time and time again, the mind is powerful. The mind controls a lot of the way we act, the way we behave. The mind can impact your life for good or for bad. So choose to practice good. Choose to practice actually fighting the negativity you face in your life. Choose to be positive. Choose to keep going. Look, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. A few years ago, I remember walking down the street. I saw this lovely lady that was looking at me, and I thought to myself, nah, she's gonna reject me. So you know what? I'm not gonna even approach her because I didn't want to get rejected. So I carried on walking. But then my mind kept talking to me because I had been practicing positivity. My mind said to me, just try, just go talk to her. You know, it's already a no if you don't try. Try, go talk to her. What's the worst that could happen? A no, you know, or maybe a slap in the face. But at least I was willing to go and find out. And guess what? It actually ended up good. You know, I got to know the person, but that's what I was trying to say. I wouldn't have known that person, that great person, if I wasn't willing to actually approach them because of me being stuck in my head, me putting them on a pedestal and making them feel like they're bigger than who I am at the time. But it shouldn't be like that. You know, you're beautiful, you're great, you have so much to offer. Always remember that. Say that to yourself, because the more you pep talk yourself, just think of a boxing match. Have you ever watched a boxing match and the guy's losing a fight? Do you think when he goes back in his corner, his team is saying to them, okay, look, you've lost, look, just go out and get knocked out? No, they're going to tell you, look, you can do it. Even if there's a second of you that can swing, you can do it. And in some situations, they actually go back out there and knock out the person because they didn't know. If they didn't have their team there, pepping them, telling them they can do it, think about all that you learned in training. It's the same thing. When you're faced with these situations, you know, pep talk yourself. Think about how great you are, what you bring to the table, because trust me, there's so much that you can bring to the table as well. Not that person. Don't judge someone off of their beauty. Judge them by their character. But the only way you're going to know their character is if you have the cojones to actually go and approach them. Remember this. There's some things that you're good at, that people will like about you, that I'm not good at. You know, and this is why it's good to talk to people, because then you're able to identify your strengths on what you can bring to the table, because there's something that you bring to the table. It's not always about that person, because I feel like when we like someone or we want to talk to someone, we always think about, are they going to like me? But what about, are you going to like them? Are you going to like them? You know, maybe they're not as good as you thought they were. So I want you to start pep talking yourself by saying certain things like, I am beautiful. I am strong. I am confident. I am destined for greatness. I am going to do good things in this life. I am attractive. You know, when you say these things, even though they do sound cliche at times, you're speaking it into existence. You know, your tongue has power, and those who love it will eat of its fruits. The final tip I have to overcome your shyness is when you see people, smile. Smiling is contagious. It gives off that you're a positive person, that you're approachable. People like people that are approachable. People don't like people that are mean mugging, you know, not being presentable, you know. So smile. Smiling can change a lot of things. I see people all the time and they smile at me, I smile back. You know, great interaction. So guys, those are the 4 tips I have in mind. Please apply them, you know. Give them a try, be willing to try. You remember, I always say this, it's already a no if you don't try. So try, you know, even if you get rejected, at least you were willing to try, and that means that you're confident actually. And this is a better way of overcoming shyness, because you don't want to stay shy your whole life, because we as humans, we get into habits. And if you keep staying shy, you will never break through certain barriers that you could have broken through if you were willing to actually just speak about it and talk to people, you know, because there's people out there that will accept you for who you are. So guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Hope you were able to learn some lessons, some tips that you can go away and go kill it, you know, that's the aim. So just to let you know, this is a glimpse of what is on my course. You know, my course is in the link, and it's all about self-improvement. It's all about becoming the better version of yourself. And so what I've added to my course is the whole mindset about motivation, because with the right mindset, you can achieve anything you put your mind to, honestly. So my goal is to encourage, to uplift, to build your character so you can become the better version of yourself, so that we can all connect and make this life, make this world a better place.